Hello and welcome to this Qualitative 360 pre-event interview with Howard Josephs. Howard, I'm delighted that you could join me. Do you want to first of all give a little introduction to yourself?
Yes, thank you for inviting me to have a chat with you today. Yes, my name is Howard Josephs. I work for a company called C Research Limited. It is my own company. I've been a Qual researcher, an international Qual researcher for about 10 years. Been working for myself for the last two, and yeah, it's good to be here.
Awesome. So you're going to be doing a paper at this upcoming event, and I'd like to know a little bit about it.
Yeah, I'm going to be talking about what I call 4D Qual. So my paper actually will be a group exercise whereby I'm going to do a short presentation, and then the attendees of the conference are going to break into smaller teams in order to complete four tasks. But essentially, what 4D Qual is about is just this idea of how you can take qualitative research to the next level, if you like, to the top table in business, and looking at what techniques can be employed in order to help do that. There is a view very much that one of the downsides to qualitative research is that it can be seen very much as a single point in time. And one of the ideas behind the thinking, if you like, behind 4D Qual, it is something that I've developed with a fellow researcher called Karen Cooper, who unfortunately can't join us in Istanbul. One of the thoughts we had is that it's about taking a research process beyond just that point in time and stretching it out in order to really think about how you research right from the very moment, even before you receive a brief, to a debrief and beyond.
Okay, and so 4D research is the first I've heard of it. Is this something that's very, very new that you've just worked on developing?
Well, I'll let you into a little secret. To be honest with you, we're not proposing anything that's actually new, to be fair. There's always new techniques and new approaches and new ways of doing things which kind of filter through within Qual research. I think it's more a way of thinking, if you like, of saying actually you don't need to just be stuck behind a particular way of doing things, and it's about looking at all the different ways and means that we have at our disposal in order to be able to take research and say actually, it doesn't have to be some fixed moment in time. At the same time, it doesn't involve necessarily spending hundreds of thousands of pounds in order to find answers out, although obviously that's great if clients are up for it. But certainly it is about sort of saying what are the different ways and means, be it looking at approaching problems from a different angle, thinking thinking with more clarity in terms of who you actually want to speak to, and what are the different ways of actually getting access to those people, and even all the way through from stakeholders in any given project to participants, to, as I say, how do you almost boil down a given research project into that 5-minute elevator pitch that needs to go right to the CEO kind of thing.
Yeah, and so how about methodologies with this 4D research? How do you approach that?
So I think the most important thing is always to be what we call methodologically neutral. So it's always about finding the best approach to answer the given question at hand, but whilst also understanding the constraints of budget. Some clients appreciate a particular way of doing things, but it is about also saying, thinking through and thinking, actually, what are the different ways that I can extend the reach of something, extend the insight that I can get. So from a methodological standpoint, of course, we, Karen and I, absolutely advocate the use of what are called now traditional research methodologies, focus groups, interviews and things. But also thinking beyond, again, how can you use online things like online diaries or online chats to supplement and build on your learning. Stakeholder interviews, even what we call just sitting in Starbucks or McDonald's and listening to what people are talking about, obviously using social media and exploring, in much greater depth, what are the conversations that people are having. And the point being that doesn't have to be at a fixed point in time, and saying this is when the field work is. Almost saying, actually, I'm going to start some of those things right from the very moment that I receive the brief or that I receive the go-ahead to go on a project, and using them as inspiration both before the research, during the research, and beyond after the research.
very interesting. I'm looking forward to hearing all about it at the event. If we can discuss a little bit about the event itself, aside from promoting your paper, which I'm sure that's one of the reasons you go in there, is there anything else you're looking forward to? Any other particular reasons that are taking you to Istanbul?
Yeah, I think one of the attractions for me has certainly been I was lucky enough to go last year, and that's the first time I've gone to Qual 360. And I enjoyed it very much, although interestingly, the focus was very much on online research. And one of the things I think I took away from it and realised was that, hey, actually, you know, I very much see the value of online research, and I do use it as part of the what's the word, the kind of approaches at my disposal. But I think what I'm quite excited about this year's conference is that it's very much been widened out. It's looking at much more kind of big issues, if you like, in terms of what are the key things that Qual researchers have to think about, you know, into the future in order to keep Qual alive and keep it growing and keep it relevant. And I like the fact that yes, there is still the focus on new methodologies, but there is also a lot of from the papers, you know, that are going to be talked about. There is a lot of focus on just always keeping on top of thinking, how do we do things? How do we stay relevant? How do we stay valuable to our clients?
Howard, thank you very much for joining me today. I'm looking forward to seeing your paper and yourself as well, of course, at the event. And yeah, thank you very much for joining me.
Good stuff. Take care, Jack.
Bye bye.